Explain what hip dysplasia is.
Hip dysplasia is when someone's hip is born out of, your hip is out of socket. So when you're born, it's not fully formed. My little boy had hip dysplasia when he was born. It's not a life-threatening disease. It can be crippling. You'd have to have hip surgery later on in life. You might have to have hip surgery in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. His hip, when he was born, here was his socket, and here was his ball, right here, kind of like this. So basically, that thing has to grow like this and grow in place. Well, if it's up here, it's kind of hard to do. So they put him in a harness so that his legs were positioned in a way that ball can grow into there.
When you found that out, how did your research lead you to the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital?
Well, we were kind of worried about it, you know, because you want a healthy baby, and he was such a cute kid, and then when they told us he was having a problem with his hip, we're thinking, oh, that stinks. And the thing is, we went to a doctor, and you went on the internet, there's nothing on it. You can find a website here and a website there. You find a lot of stuff about dogs and their hips, but not a lot about humans and their hips. Well, this guy didn't know much about it. They sent us to a guy in Omaha, and he was like, yeah, you know, this is something that he just kind of hemmed and hawed. Basically, well, we can do one of two things. We can have surgery on him now and repair that hip, or just let it grow the way it grows, and probably when he gets older in his 40s, he's probably gonna have to have a hip surgery. But there's not really, you know, it's kind of like that. So you're just trying to struggle and trying to find information. And then finally my wife said, well, is there anybody who knows about this? And he recommended this. Well, there's a guy in Orlando at the orthopedics branch of Arnold Palmer. And he's one of the best in the business at this hip stuff. You might want to give him a call and see. So we called Chad Price, Dr. Price, and Chad told us, you know, bring him down here. I've kind of adjusted the Pavlik harness, and I've kind of done some stuff to it. And I've done some research about swaddling kids, and I think that it'll work. He told us what to do with the harness, and he adjusted this and that. And by gosh, a year later, my boy just had his x-ray here a month ago, completely cured. We never have to go back again. His hip is completely cured.
The hardest part, outside of the lack of information, for you and your wife of going through that whole process would be what?
Well, yeah, because you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if you're gonna have to have this little boy have an operation already. People that have this, they struggle with how do you get information? So that's what we decided to do with Chad. We wanted to form the International Hip Dysplasia Institute, and basically it's a place that people can go and hear other people's stories so that you're not alone, so that you know what this is, that it can be helped, that there's doctors that are all trained in the same way of approaching this problem. And so now when you go on the internet and you want to know about hip dysplasia, it takes you to the International Hip Dysplasia Institute at the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital. And it was really cool because I was a fan of Arnold Palmer. I love golf.
Right.
And it was an honor to be able to be a part of Arnold Palmer's hospital and put it in his hospital.
And the Wyatt Whitney.
It's the Wyatt Whitney Hip Dysplasia Institute. We've done a lot of donations, and we always name it after other people, but we thought that this would be pretty awesome to name it after our kid, because if Wyatt didn't have the hip dysplasia problem, this would have never happened. The foundation probably wouldn't even started. So it's the Wyatt Whitney International Hip Dysplasia.
And I mean, you donated a fortune. You donated $5 million to make that happen.
Don't remind me.
I mean, donated another $1 million to childhood advocacy, right? And then another $1+ million to a rehabilitation hospital, you know, among other things. So, I mean, what of all the philanthropy that you've done, what would you say you're most proud of?
All of it. I don't put one above the other. They're all people have needs, And if we're able to do it, we should do it. You know, we should do it. I mean, you don't have to do it. I'm not going to make you do it, but you should. I mean, if you're any kind of a person inside, you should want to be able to do stuff like that. So we do a lot of this stuff just because it's fun. It's fun to do. I'll be honest, it's fun to do. So.
And now you have your own celebrity golf event.
Yeah, we got to. You know what? We have one celebrity golf event a year. And it goes into the Get Her Done Foundation. And the Get Her Done Foundation, we get letters from all over the place. And so we pick 10 to 12 organizations to give to. We'll have a main gift. So the main thing will go here. And then 11 other organizations, it'll get divided up. It can be whatever. It can be 10 grand here, 5 grand there, 25 grand there, 17 grand there. But you know what? Even the smallest donation is helping somebody, you know, and that's what it's all about.